Good morning on what is a cool, bright but sunny day. It is Friday the 26th of August. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And some parcels to unbox. Let's get the knife. There we go. And several titles in there. Let's see, the first one I'm going to pull out. Is this, which is 6x6, the Mayhemic Misssile Method. Tenscore and 16 Ways for sorcerers, witches, and other Thaumatrophs to defend their indefensible persons. And it's from Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Okay. 6. They can only burn you at the stake if they catch you, and the Mayhemic Misssile Method will make them think twice before trying. 6. One first level spell, 216 flavours. Use everyone's favourite trio of dice to create dizzying and deadly exceptions to the laws of nature. 6. This book turns a familiar low level spell into something you might not want your allies, let alone your enemies, to cast. Okay, it's a magic, so it's basically 6x6x6 is a magic supplement for use with Lamentations of the Flame Princess and all traditional swords and sorcery tabletop roleplay games. So, essentially, this is a source book for your magic missile. Now, when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, there are a number of totemic or iconic spells that almost every wizard or sorcerer or warlock has at first level. So you're talking about sleep or charm, or in this case, magic missile. And the thing is, your average magic missile really hasn't changed all that much over the years. Typically, you cast it. You fire a bolt of magical energy. You do 1d4 plus 1 damage, and that varies a little, more or less, a little bit depending upon edition. It might be a d6, might be d4, and then at higher levels you're able to cast more not more spells, but more energy bolts. But this essentially turns it into something a little bit more powerful and a little more varied. The idea is that each magic user's magic missile is unique in appearance and always looks the same. Each different signature for a magic missile spell should be researched and then transcribed as a different spell. So that's the core description in the Lamentations of the Flame Princess rulebook. But how many actual player characters, wizards, sorcerers, warlocks, etc., do that? Not many, I suspect. It's essentially, I've got magic missile, fire and forget, move on. But by rolling 3 6-sided dice, you can generate the results of a different magic missile effects every time. Now, this is something that's kind of been done before. If you have a look at Dungeon Crawl Classics has kind of like a big chunk of the book is just devoted to spells, because every single spell has its own table of effects. The wizard casts a spell, and his player rolls the die, 20-sided die, and adds his level or whatever to the result to get an effect on the table. So that might be simple. So essentially, you cast your magic user, your magic missile spell looks like screaming eagles coming in to claw your opponents, and does a d8's worth of damage instead of something like a d4 or a d6 and so on. And it escalates. The higher the roll, the better the result. And of course, at the other end, you've got possibilities of spell failure. Now then, in this, you are just using three six-sided dice and rolling to see what you get. So we have essentially a discussion of the different methods you can use to roll those dice and interpret the results. So 6 different methods, how to choose your missiles, and how to referee them as the game master. And then basically we'll get a couple of options for, I think, failures, and different takes upon it there. So before we kind of get into the list, we have some. Okay, here's the thing. Obviously, this is a Lamentations of the Flame Princess book. You are going to get some bloody artwork in here, and this is no exception. Okay, essentially, one method, not so much magic missile as magic teeth exploding from the caster's jaw. So yes, not for the faint of heart. But then what we've got after this essentially is the tables and the results. So if you roll literally, if you have a roll a 1-1-1, you have obsessive eruption. The caster's gums bulge far out of her mouth, then explode in a burst of gore as one or more fist-sized and carious teeth fly from the jaw. The wound closes as it's formed. For the next D4 hours, the caster's breath reeks, causing a penalty of 2 to all charisma and reaction checks from anyone within 2 paces. That's if you roll 1-1-1. So what you're actually rolling is not so much 3 six-sided dice as what's known as a D666. To generate a result between, over 100, over several hundred results, so yes, it starts off with crepuscular effect. I'm not going to show you that artwork again, but it gets weirder and odder as you go through, as you would expect, and not always quite so bloody. With essentially each entry given a paragraph, description, essentially a title and so on, and the results. So it's all easy to use and reference. So I mean, even then we have, if you roll a 1-2-4, at the gates the caster's head splits, the face sliding along the coronal frontal plane to reveal not sinuses or a brain, but a loophole through which concealed shooter fires. Roll a D12 for the type of cover, and again for the type of fire. So you might have a gun port in a luxury vehicle, and you'll be firing ballista bolts, and you've got a couple of a table there for that effect. So it is it's a work of sort of like ridiculous imagination, sort of like, is how many variations can I come up with for your different, for just one spell. So for example, we see Dimensional Throat Climber. The caster's jaw unhinges as a robot resembling an arthropod forces its way from the caster's throat. From the caster's mouth, this robot then fires its eternal ray guns. And then roll D20 for the Throat Climber's body plan. So you have tables within tables, and I'm just sort of picking out the ones that kind of that stand out a little bit more because of the tables. And then you have more again, a little bit bloody, but again, essentially this is the Lamentations of the Flame Princess we are talking about, and this is the Flame Princess herself, illustrated throughout. So yeah, so this obviously, this is just an optional book for one spell. If you really want to dig into, just add some variation, add some ideas for some of the effects of the spells, then this probably is a good source book for you. And it will work with just about any variation upon Dungeons and Dragons you care to choose. So yes, we even have a variation of the Lamentations of the Flame Princess, armed with a chain gun when she casts a magic missile. So yes, almost any retro clone based upon Dungeons and Dragons which uses a magic missile, you could use this book with. Decent artwork, clear tables, and you know, overall quite it's sort of like an engaging collection of ideas. Now, obviously, now I should say that I did actually edit this book. This is one of the books I worked on, and the end result is actually quite entertaining, and it's a lovely little book. It honestly really does feel kind of nice that that's cloth bound. Got a lovely feel to it. Anyway, that is 6x6x6, the Mayhemic Misssile Method from Lamentations of the Flame Princess. If you have enjoyed this unboxing of Nook, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel from which I will unbox a book or a game and chat about it to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. We're back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.